Okay, alright, so I promised to record you this video and talk to you about how you can discover who your leaders are within your group. And it's one of the things that early in my coaching career I was not that great at picking out, because I would go with whoever the most dominant person was, or the most dominant soccer player was, and I would have them be the captain. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're the best leader, and I'll tell you why. One of the things with soccer is that it's a team game. So, you know, the best player on the park might not be the best role model or the best leader or the best teammate, because they might just be the best player, and that's okay, but they're not the person that should be your leader. Perhaps the person that should be your leader is the person that encourages everyone else, that motivates everyone else, that drives everyone else forward. That when someone makes a mistake, instead of getting on their back, they're there geeing them up and telling them, never mind, you know, good try, it was worth the effort, let's go again, type of thing. The leaders are the people that are going to run through brick walls for you. They're going to run through brick walls for their team. They're going to run themselves into the ground trying to do everything they can for their teammates. The leaders that you want are the ones that are communicating, that they're talking to your team, they're organising, they're helping the teammates around them to play better. When they're on the field, your performance as a team elevates. So how do you find these people? How do you find these people in your groups? Well, you can look for them in practice. You can see who is encouraging in practice, who is helping each other in practice, but that's not the best environment, because most people in practice are trying to work on their own game. They're trying to focus on what they need to do. They're trying to pay attention to how they get better, and it's not necessarily an environment where they're looking out to help each other. So how else could you do it? Well, you could do it when you could figure it out when you start the session and you ask a question like, how do we improve our performance tonight without working any harder? And you can see then who comes forth with an answer. Whether the answer is right or wrong doesn't really matter. It's that they had the courage to come forward and say something, that they're prepared to put themselves in a position where they're vulnerable to their teammates. Maybe at the end of the session you would ask, what one thing did you notice tonight that we did really well as a team? Again, it's the person that's going to put themselves forward and say something positive about their teammates that you want to be your leader, that you want to be your captain, that you want to have that responsibility. It's someone that you recognize in the group is able to almost dominate the play, but without being arrogant or cocky about it. You know, they're a good player, they're a good soccer player, they've got a good soccer brain, but they're humble with it. They're not trying to show off, they're not trying to put their other teammates down. They're trying to maybe lead by example, show people how to play, what to do. Your captains and leaders are the people that when you're talking to them, they are giving you their attention. They're maintaining eye contact with you. They're listening to you to see what it is you want them to do, and then they go and do it. The leaders are the people that will ask questions without saying no. So they're the people that if you ask them to go and make a run, for instance, if you want them to make an inside to outside run, they will ask you, what is the significance of making that run? What is it I'm trying? What is the outcome I'm looking for? And they will want more information. They will want more feedback or clarification as to why they're doing what they're doing, as opposed to the player that is just adamantly not going to do it. So lots of different ways there that you can find your leaders. There are other ways. You can put them together in a non-soccer environment, in a totally different element, and see who are the people that are taking charge, who are the people that are taking the lead. You know, maybe you organise a bowling night as a team function, and you know, you sit back and take a back seat and watch what happens. See how they split themselves up into the different teams. Who's taking the lead? Who's making the decisions? Who's putting themselves forward? It's quite important that you identify these people, because they can make your life a lot easier as a coach if you know who they are. If you know that, for instance, you've got Ashlyn there and she is going to run her socks off every single practice, every single game. She is a great example to the other players. If she's asking questions, if she wants to give feedback, if she wants to talk about how she can improve her performance and how she can help others to improve theirs, you've probably got someone there that you want to lean on a little bit and give a little bit more responsibility to. There's a video clip below here that I've provided for you, and this was really the first game I watched that I noticed somebody completely dominate the game. I'd watched soccer before, but this was the first time, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but this was the first time that I watched a game and I noticed how dominant one player was. And the story is even more remarkable because during the course of the evening, the player in question received a yellow card, and that meant that he was then going to be suspended for the final. He couldn't play in the final if his team made it. And at the point when he got the yellow card, the team hadn't made it yet. They hadn't got the victory. And so he was going to play the rest of that game in the knowledge that he wasn't going to make the final, that he wasn't going to play. And some people would have just played out the game, would have just, you know, done their normal game, would have just played normally. But this guy made sure that his teammates were going to make that final. That no matter what happened, he was not going to allow them not to make the final, even though he knew he couldn't play. And it was one of the most outstanding performances by a soccer player I've ever seen. I've seen some since then, but I think this was the first one that I saw. So the guy we're talking about is Roy Keane. He was playing for Manchester United against Juventus in Turin in April 1999, and Manchester United needed to get a better result than 1-1 to progress into the final, because they'd drawn the first leg in Old Trafford 1-1, and within 20 minutes Manchester United was 2-0 down. And from that point on, Roy Keane drags his team out of the mire, and they end up winning the game 3-2. So watch the video, enjoy the video, and see if you can pick up some of the stuff that I did. Even though I was watching the game live and I watched the whole 90 minutes, maybe you'll get a sense of it in these highlights. Alright, enough from me, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye bye.